Hi everybody, this is Valerie G. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here with May Arts Ribbon, and we are going to work on making this great dual-page scrapbook layout. So let's get started. I will be working today with Avery L. Stamps. This is their Build-A-Banner set, and I'm super excited to be working with this one. I am also going to be working with some Wow Studio products. This is one of their masks. It's got circles of varying sizes, blue and black flare, the large and small ship wheel because I wasn't sure which one would fit better on my final project, and of course some delicious May Arts ribbon. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do for my layout today is work on some background pieces. So I have got some cardstock that I've cut down to 3 by 9 that I picked because it is a fairly close match to the light blue background on this ribbon. I love this ribbon because I adore the fact that the circles are different sizes and I can get the same kind of effect with this great circle template. So I'm going to use some of the Dylusions ink sprays because they're super vibrant, and using these I'm going to do a little bit of a variation in color, I think, going from the turquoise through the blue into the After Midnight, getting a variation in color through here. You can see I've already been having fun playing with this. So let me show you how I do this. The first thing that you're going to need is something to contain your mist. I like to use a shoebox, easy to replace. I do line it with paper towel in the bottom, and then as that paper towel becomes saturated, you can simply swap it out with a clean one and you don't have to worry about any cross-contamination of your colors. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this in here and put the template on top. I'm not worried about it being straight or lined up or anything like that. I will mask off the top of this piece of paper with a Post-it note just to help prevent some of the overspray so that I can get a clean polka dot pattern even on the top up here. And then I'm going to use a couple pieces of masking tape here just to hold down the sides of the template to make sure that we get good connection with the paper and get a pretty crisp image for our dots. I'm going to start with the middle tone, which is London Blue. Do a little bit of the After Midnight down here in the bottom corner, and then transitioning to the turquoise here in that top corner. So then, as we remove our mask, so I'm going to go ahead and set this aside to dry and come back and show you what they all look like. So I have finished spraying my 4 pieces. I love the variation in color from that midnight blue into the blue and the turquoise. I washed my template with warm soapy water. Everything came off. It looks good as new. My hands, pretty close, not too bad. That's what those Ranger scrubby pads do. They'll take off all that dye and ink. So the next step is to just set these aside, make sure that they're nice and dry before I use them on my layout, and we're going to go ahead and move forward. So the next thing I want to go ahead and play with is these super cute wood veneer embellishments from Wow Studios. And I am going to take some of the brown May Arts Baker's twine and wrap it around this outer circle part. I know this is going to be a little bit of a labor of love because I have to feed the loose end through repeatedly to get the look that I want, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. So my intent is to do something sort of along these lines and make sure they're nice and snug with each other, wrapped all the way around and around and around. So I'm going to keep going with this and I will show you what it looks like when I come back. I wanted to show you how this is turning out. I think it looks fantastic, and I have made use of a handy little tool to help me pull through the twine as I loop it round and round and round. Now I did use my ATG to apply adhesive on this outer circle so that the twine is sticking to it on the back side and helping it stay into place, but I can still sort of scooch it around a little bit if I need to. This only took about 1.5 yards to 2 yards of twine, and as you can see, this one happens to be exactly the right length, and I don't know how I managed to do that, quite honestly. So that's what I have. I'm trying to decide if I want to do this inner circle too, because I am loving the way this turned out. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play with that a little bit, see how it looks, and decide if I want to keep it. Okay, so the next thing I did here is I took a few minutes to play with the stamp set, because all the pieces and parts of it are not necessarily as clear-cut as one might originally think. There's some pieces for building up a twisty kind of banner or a more geometric zigzag banner. Obviously, it took me a couple of stamps to figure out how to use this tail correctly. And then there was this little swirly piece that I couldn't figure out how it was supposed to be used until I played with it a little bit more and realized it is making it look as though your stamp is a scroll, and you can use it either to shade in the existing stamp or to kind of add that to your own build a scroll. I really like this one. This is what I'm going to use to create a very long journaling block with some cute ribbony accents, which will go really well with the real ribbon that I use on the page. I'm going to work on the smooth side of my textured cardstock, and I will be using my favorite black ink from Sukin Echo, their VersaFine Onyx Black. I'm going to continue stamping this particular stamp down the page, and then I'll come back and show you the next step of this fantastic stamp set. The next step for this Build-A-Banner is to use the diagonal striped piece, which is the shading for the back part of the banner. So I've already done the majority of them, and you can see as I make a mess on my block that this fills that side-to-side background spots. Now, if, like mine, you don't have perfect alignment, never fear, it will be okay. There's a couple of things. I'm okay with it the way that it is, but if you wanted to, you could certainly go in with a fine journaling pen and extend those lines a little bit longer so that in places like this, it touches both sides of the banner. But I'm actually okay with this. I think that this looks really, really cool. So I'm going to leave it alone and move on to the next step, which is this fun guy. He makes our little tails at the top and the bottom of our banner. So we'll put one down here at the bottom, like that. And I'm going to flip this around instead of trying to work upside down on it. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it around. Sorry if my head gets in the way, so that I can get that top part. And there you have this spectacularly long, swirly banner that I can do my journaling on and create whatever length journaling space I need for what I'm going to talk about on my layout. So the next step is that we're going to start putting pieces together. Alright, so I'm nearing the finish of my project here, and I have taken the sequined ribbon from Mayarts and deconstructed a little piece of it that I had left over to pull off those sequins, giving me perfectly coordinating little pieces of bling that I can use on my layout and have it match this great sequined ribbon. So I am going to work on that, and then I'll come right back and show you how it all turned out in the end. So I went ahead and used my sewing machine to border stitch the edges of these custom made backgrounds, And then I used those deconstructed sequins up here to accent my title, just to add a little bit more shine and bedazzle to that corner. So that's what we've got for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you had fun. I know I did. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.